everything that's going on, we have brought Eric back from SBC to talk about just what's happening in the economic world. There's always concerns. We watch Wall Street fluctuate on concerns. But in your business, what are you most concerned about right now?
Well, I'm concerned about a few different things. One thing is that politics is affecting economics more and more every day, which to me that's slipping away from, capitalism. But nonetheless, taking aside from that and the political aspect of it, if you look at some of the numbers that we don't talk about anymore, we don't talk about the national debt anymore. It's 27 trillion. We don't talk about unfunded liabilities in this country. And we don't talk about national asset worth in this country. Our national asset worth in this country right now is hovering around $156 trillion. But if you look at the unfunded liabilities, being everything from Medicare to Social Security to everything that this country needs to pay for in order to survive, we're at about $155 trillion, about $1 trillion in between those two massive numbers, and it's not going in favorable directions. It's going to the direction of us actually superseding of what our liabilities are versus what our assets are worth. Where does that go? I don't know, and that's really what it comes down to. Is we've got absolutely no end in sight for the printing of money or taxation in this country at this point, and that's a big concern.
And when you look at an average person goes to apply for a loan, they look at debt to income ratio to make sure you're able to pay for your loan. But in this case, it's more about you don't own enough that we could take from you to pay back if we have to foreclose on you. Is that kind of what we're looking at? That our assets and what we have in this country don't add up to enough to pay our debt?
Well, that's exactly right, but it's worse than that, because at this point, think of it this way. It's like if you had a credit card, and it was best explained to me by one of our brokers that said, it's like a runaway train. But we're no longer concerned about trying to stop that runaway train or slow it down. At this point in time, we're just trying to forecast how far down the tracks it can go until ultimately, the inevitable happens. At that point in time, where are we? What does that mean? Only future will tell.
So then, obviously, in your world, what are you advising people to do in a broad way? Because I know there's a lot of specifics, but what are you advising people to do right now?
I think right now take the long-term approach. Stop thinking three days ahead of yourself. Start thinking 5 to 10 years ahead of yourself. Because what we're going to continue to do, because politicians, they all agree upon one thing. I don't care if they're Republicans, I don't care if they're Democrats. All of them could care less about spending. They just want to be able to fund what they want to spend on. That's it. So therefore, we're going to do it by either taxation or inflation, by printing of money. And right now, our taxable revenues aren't even close to what it takes to fund all of the ideas that are coming from either side right now, or the bailouts, or yada, 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 it goes on and on and on. But really what you need to focus on right now is gold will be worth a lot more down the road than it is today, because your dollar is going to be worth quite a bit less.
It's why I love having you come in. A wealth of information. I know you and your staff and the people you have working with you are a wealth of information. So I hope to go to your website, but they got to get in and talk to you as well, just so they have the advice they need to be a wise investor right now. So we appreciate you coming down.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.